Hello, welcome back to Navigating the Shift. Today we're going to mostly talk about the energy of the world. But first, the news.
The news. Okay,
Yes.
so one thing I noticed had come up was Judy Mikovits is the one who set up the pandemic video, the movie, that of course got banned and thrown off everything, which of course made everybody want to go and find it all the more. And I think you'll find it on the alternative sites, BitChute and Rumble, places like that. It's brilliant. It's really good. But I saw a video of her talking to Jason Shirker. And in that, she mentioned a product called Suramin, Suramin. And it's a 100-year-old drug that was created by Bayer, or Bayer, whatever you say over there. So it should be out of patent, right? And they have been using it for trials to cure autism. And in reading about it, it actually can prevent DNA strands from being interrupted as well. So she is saying that is the cure for the prick that we've got, that we're dealing with at the moment, which is
the jab.
Yeah, which is very exciting.
That's great.
It
well,
is.
Wasn't she also the one who said like 1 million people are going to die from this, from the jab? Wasn't that her?
I don't know.
That Dr. Judy? Somebody, I thought it was her who put out a big scare, but if she's found a cure, then, well, that means we don't need that scare anymore.
Providing Bayer will come to the party and bring it out. So I don't know how you would read on Bayer. I mean, we've looked at things like, well, I don't know if we've specifically looked on this show about Pfizer and some of the other big pharma companies that are nasty. But what about Bayer? How do you say it, first of all? You don't feel good about them?
No, I don't. We say it Bayer, accent on the Bay, Bayer. But Bayer sounds so nice in French.
Ooh la
la. So yeah, they're bad. I mean, that Bayer, I think, was a big part of the 1918 pandemic because the mask wearing was a problem and people got bacterial pneumonia from it. But also it was just when aspirin had come out and they were getting like huge mega doses of aspirin to people, like 100 times what you would take. And that just killed a ton of people. I saw a whole documentary on that. So they're not good guys. But as we know, these big pharma, that big everything, the very top, they've been cleaned up.
So things might change. Yeah, they might use this. The fact that she's talking about it, I don't know if that would be simply to end up with enough public pressure for them to push onto the company, or whether she already knows, perhaps, that.
But if the patent has expired,
that doesn't mean they're forced to manufacture it, though.
No, but anybody could manufacture it then, right?
Oh, I see.
That's the whole idea.
Well, if you've got the formula, I don't know if everybody else has got it. Whether that you should still be able to get that through. Yeah, you should be able to get that through the patents office, surely.
Yeah, I think anybody could make it. And also, I mean, I've been reading up a lot on colloidal silver, and that's just brilliant too. Yeah. It's just whoa! I just got sent an email with article after article after article. We'll never have to have a flu again, right? I mean, gosh, it's so ridiculous how something as silly as quinine, which is HCQ, and these other things that are really, really, really good have been suppressed. I'm so sick of the old earth. It's hard.
Next thing on the list, Bill and Melinda Gates are splitting up. We thought that was rather funny, that they're the ones that want everybody tagged and tracked and all the rest, and yet they want privacy now. I don't feel they're there anymore.
No,
so maybe this is just the way to simply remove them from the picture. What do you think?
Ultimately, I'm pretty sure they're long gone, and that whatever they got to replace them, they didn't do a really great job. So some people were saying, if you divorce, then maybe you can hide half the money, or we can get rid of one, whatever. I don't know. I think it appears, for whatever reason, to be a distraction, because evidently it's all over the media. It's the biggest news ever. Two people are getting a divorce.
Yeah, whatever.
Doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, do you think there's some like amazing strategy? There have been times when I thought about it that I was like, fingers crossed that the first arrest was going to be this guy. And what I've gotten, even I just did some tarot about where are we right now, and it was just like, hidden justice. So I don't know if we're going to see it. It's hard. But it's important we keep our frequency high so we can trigger the event and shift into the new earth. Let's just say. If the whole lot of the planet, a whole lot of the people are paying attention to some horrible, horrible news about people we thought were good guys being arrested.
Exactly. Yeah. There was an interesting video that came out of India of a village revolting against a truckload of people that had come in. I'm not sure if they were military or they were medical people, perhaps. But at the beginning, you can see somebody being beaten with a stick, and then all the villagers come and start throwing stones at these people, and they all have to run and jump into their truck and drive away. This is literally revolution on the ground. They are not going to put up with that. And we saw last week the woman saying that there's nothing happening, everything's fine in the streets. Would be very interested to hear more. If you know of anybody who is in India who can give a first-hand account, what is going on there? Does everything seem to be okay? Or are these military people running around trying to do tests and jab that are not welcome? You tell us what you see in India. That would be really good to know.
We do know that India actually kicked the Gates Foundation out. He's not allowed there. So it would make sense.
All that information got scrubbed from the internet, though. You can't find it now.
But if we're looking at the attitude of the government there, I can't imagine they'd be trying to force vaccines at this point.
True.
So after what happened there, we know from looking at it before that what we're seeing is not the truth. Whenever you see something that causes any kind of fear at this point, I'm just like, nope, not the truth.
Ghislaine, there's a photo here of her supposedly in jail. It's a totally different woman. And they're trying to send a little message with a mark in her left eye because they know that we all talk about the left eye and the connection between that and either programming or parasite or cloning, or just there's something weird going on with the left eye that we've noticed for a long time. So this woman, it's just not even her. I don't know what's happened to Ghislaine. We've not seen her at all since she was supposedly arrested. We've not seen anything of her at all. So is the drawings that we're getting of her in her trial, are they the same kind of actor as Derek Chauvin? I don't know. And even then, when we were looking at Derek Chauvin, because apparently he's jumping up and down at the moment as well, that guy who did the original job was an actor. We found a picture of him doing a TV commercial for tires or something. He's an actor, and he disappeared immediately after that event. I think they wiped him out, quite frankly. But yeah, so this Ghislaine thing, it's curious. Don't know what else we can say about that one.
I read that the guy that was supposedly killed also had an IMDb, so did some kind of acting too.
Yeah, somebody saw.
Oh no, I remember what it was.
Movie. He was in a porn movie.
That's right. That's what it was. Porn.
But can you really recognize them? I don't know from that. You have to look closely. A big black guy who's rather tall. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a few people that'd be quite happy to look closely at him. And the last thing that I have here is that the Australian press are making a bit of a fuss this week, which was interesting, about how all our main highways are over the top of the ancient highways of the original people. And they've got all these maps. And I don't know what that's about as to why they're bringing that up. Why would everybody bring it up at once? Is it just because there was one press release perhaps and they all got caught onto it? What is that about? There was some talk about those enormous fires that we had last summer. Not the one we just had, but the year before, just before COVID, all being around about the space where they want to put a new motorway that runs interstate. Because our states in Australia are much, much bigger. We've only got sort of 7 in Australia compared to America, and we're about the same size physically. So yeah, they're really big states. But Yeah, I just I'm curious to know why they're bringing that up.
The first thing I got was that the original pathways were energy lines. Mm-hmm. And if you pave over them, you block the energy. Do you block the energy? Is that part of why they chose those? Mm-hmm. Just looking at it from a spiritual point of view, which I tend to do. But then if we're looking at why is it being brought up now, I mean, maybe it's time to shift that stuff so that those lines are working.
Yeah, I've had a number of times over the past few weeks this idea of tar seal, whatever you call it, bitumen, concrete,
tarmac,
all these things that block the earth. It's a bit like putting a piece of nail polish on your skin. That if you do it there and there and there and there and there and there and there, more and more and more and more, then your skin can't breathe. Right. And the earth wants to breathe. Now, she's got many, many places of forest and things like that, for sure, in the big picture of things. But the more nail polish there is on the skin, that's not good, not good. So I'm wondering if I agree with you there. I think there's something about lifting a lot of the places that we've sealed up and letting the earth breathe again. I think there might be something in that.
That type of pavement has rubber in it, and rubber blocks electromagnetic movement.
Yes.
Right?
Very true.
So there's that. Oh, God. When you said nail polish, I cannot stand nail polish. I cannot stand the way it feels on my nails. It's like they can't breathe. It's like I can feel it. I tried putting nail polish on, and the next day it's like I'm scratching it off. I'm taking it off. I can't stand it. I don't know how people can wear like these big false nails with this thick stuff glued on.
It's just, this whole and the Nicki Minaj thing as well. She pushed it to the limits as far as I know, and encouraged all her little Barbies, I think she called them Barbs or something, all her followers to do the same as her, which is to move yourself as far away as possible from who you originally are. We'll lose all of that soon. I'm very sure of it.
Yes. Yeah. Did you see the video of James O'Keefe in Project Veritas?
Oh, yeah. Here's a little bit of it here.
Yeah, he's great. It's called
Oligarchy.
Lost word syndrome. Yeah, oligarchy. And it's not the most fabulous music in the world, but he turns out to be a pretty good dancer. And
he does.
Fun.
Yeah. And surrounded by dancing girls and things. Yeah. It's a very average song, but it is funny because, all of these mainstream media people, they don't like losing control. And that's what's happening.
Mm. Yes. So Project Veritas, he's the guy, if you don't know, that goes and does undercover videoing of people. He's the one who got the video of the CNN guy talking about, oh, we got Trump out. It's all about Trump. And the next one is going to be climate change. And we're going to push it and fear cells and all that stuff. So the media doesn't like him. No. And he's in a bunch of lawsuits because he actually got to the point where they said, well, he let's see, I think it was Twitter said he made a bunch of fake accounts, which he didn't. And CNN said that he doxed a bunch of people, which he didn't. But he actually got to the point in the trial right now where they're being questioned under oath. Mm-hmm. And they said, no, he didn't dox them. That's not what. And they're being forced to tell the truth. And he's like just over the moon happy with what's going on. And Project Veritas now has a new section, which they call PV Legal. So if somebody has been defamed or whatever by any of these big media guys, they've got the lawyer and the funding, and they're going to support you. And they figured out how to do it. They got through a phase that they never get through before to get to the point where these guys are being interviewed. So
it's brilliant. They also did good. Facebook and Twitter and Google. They interviewed quite secretly undercover employees from all of them and picked up really great meaty information. And you can find all of that on their website, projectveritas.com. Yeah, Schumann resonance. My God, it's a bit like fireworks lately. Good grief, huge blasts, not subtle. And so, I haven't noticed anybody being particularly aggressive, but a lot of people are talking about sleep comas. I'll just have a little lie down. I'm going to go on for 2 or 3 hours.
Oh, I know. Ooh. I slept until 1:30. I was just got up, fed the dog, and then
Back to
just
bed.
lost the whole day. And you nap too, so it's like,
yeah, wow.
but
Heavy stuff.
when the whiteouts come now, it used to make me feel horrible, like shaky and all that. But I evidently I can take the frequency now because I just feel energetic and good.
You're getting better at it.
So then when it drops down to normal, the old norm, then I just like,
that's what feels heavy now. Yeah. Yeah. So we've got a quiet patch at the moment while we're recording this. Thank goodness. We just need a bit of a rest because it was pretty full on before. And so we were just talking before we started recording about how we just want this to move on. We want this to get moving. When it's taking so long.
And it's I was thinking about earlier today, it's like Christmas. You just really want to get to those presents, right? Especially when you're a little kid. And there was a point where at one point my sister convinced me that we should go sneak in and unwrap the presents early. Ooh. And I realized, I got the thing I really wanted. We hit it back down. I was so happy. And then I realized Christmas is ruined now. It was like 4 days before Christmas, and it was like nothing to be excited about, nothing to go, all right, am I going to get it? Am I not going to get it? Am I going to get it? Am I not going to get it? It's this funny thing. It's like that experiment they did a very long time ago with monkeys, I think it was. And they had a place where you would push a button and one group always got a treat. Another group was always electrocuted. Oh. The third group, it was hit or miss. Are you going to get it or are you not going to get it? Is it going to be a treat or is it going to be a shock? And curiously, the ones that always got the treat lost interest. The ones that got shocked lost interest really fast. The ones that didn't know if it was going to be a treat or a shock were on that butt. 4-7. Like, come on, damn. Yeah. And it's sort of like our nature. That's where we're at, because there's still this little part. Are we going to get that present we want? Is it going to happen? So I've decided that rather than I'm trying to shift my thoughts about it or my relationship to it to, okay, it's just almost, Christmas isn't here quite yet. It's almost here, but it's going to be so fun and exciting knowing what's coming. Knowing what's coming, it's so exciting, and trying to shift to that away from, I can't stand it because that's such a miserable feeling.
It stretches the time out when you're doing that, yeah.
Plus, the more people are in a low frequency, the longer it takes to make the flip, for the shift to happen. So I think that's a reason why we're not hearing the news of arrests or whatever, because for us, we'd be going, woohoo! But we got a huge bunch of people who will just be in shock and upset. Wait, he's such a good guy. How could Bill Gates be a bad guy? He's the best. He's so mild-mannered. Haven't you seen his sweaters? And so that's important, even though it's hard for us. And I'm thinking, you've got to balance this out. Yes, the shock is going to be hard for the sleepers, but hello, those of us who've been awake for decades, we're like, you got to consider our suffering too. But then I thought, okay, wait a minute, we can handle it. And I can handle it. Yeah. I can handle it because I know Christmas is coming, and even though it's only May, I still know in December I'm going to get something good.
Yeah.
So, shifting it to that is helped a little bit. And part of that, for me, I think, is because I really have so lost interest in the old reality. It's like, you want to talk about some news? Oh, geez, I don't think I know any. I didn't watch anything. I don't care. I don't remember, except for that video from Veritas. That was kind of fun. It's just, okay, I just want to be in my garden and creating things.
Yeah, exactly.
I did a big design. I'm going to put a door into my vegetable garden from my bedroom, and it is a perfect spot where all it is this old desk I never used. Perfect place for a door right there. And I've been designing the steps and measuring and how many steps up for the treads, and I could build a planter here, and then I'll move it back like this, and I'll have my little chair, and I can sit out there and put it. And I did a whole sketch of it, and it was just like, And then
it's a beautiful flower you have there as well. Lovely flower. Is that from your garden?
Of course. Got a ton of them. Of course.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It's keeping me company. I love irises.
Yeah.
I put a table out there, one of those plastic folding tables, and I put my chair up on it. And I'm I'm imagining that this is here. And I can put a cabinet in here, and that would be great for storage. And I can put this under here. And that's where I want to be. I don't want to look at Bill Gates and all that stuff. I think
when people do that though on a big scale, they're basically turning away from their screens, right? And I'm finding a similar thing. I'm picking up. Before I used to be a very competent, you might say, sewer. I used to sew all the costumes for my dance company. I sewed my wedding party clothes and all of that kind of stuff. And a huge wardrobe. I was young and didn't have many expenses, didn't have kids to think about, but I'm sort of turning back towards the needlecraft and things. And because we've now got internet, like pre-kids, that wasn't a big thing. But now it's so huge that you go into a group and someone says, look, I've got this amazing pattern, and it's, but then and I see the chart, but then the key at the bottom that tells you what each of the symbols means is in Russian. Can somebody help? Yep. There's the answer, but as we connect together on the internet, there are good things in there. And these special interest groups are just lovely. And, you crack jokes with them. And like, I was presenting an opera last night. I'll show you the CD cover here of the fisherman with his net. And I'm like, I might put that in the group and joke about needlecraft. Mom, can you help me? I dropped a stitch.
Funny.
It's, and getting back into colors and textures and, designing. You can getting into designing your own things is just lovely.
It is. And my daughter's doing that too. She started doing needlework and designs and things as like rug stitching, making little rugs. Yeah.
Right.
And she's so proud. And she shows it to me. Look at this. I'm like, whoa, that feels so nice. How do you do that? Show me the thing. And it just was like, ooh, that could be fun. Maybe I could do that. I can make a pillow,
Yeah. And what's interesting about that is that as you work on it, you can actually see your progress. So you think about how many jobs we have these days that are they feel pointless because you get to the end of the week, you cannot look back and go, wow, look at that. I really moved a little further along them from where I was last year or something, A lot of these jobs are laborious and they rotate around and around. If you're processing paperwork or you're just looking after customers doing the same old stuff, or fixing problems or installing things, there's no progress left over. Whereas with creative stuff, you can see it immediately. It's just lovely.
Yeah. So the other thing I was thinking about was, keeping our frequencies high, and how do we avoid fear? And there's so many things that we're afraid of. And it occurred to me, if we know something is dangerous, that means it got out into the mass consciousness. And they don't let anything true get out to the mass consciousness. They didn't used to. So I was thinking, like the Native Americans here smoke tobacco in their ceremonies. And the energy of it, or the information I got about the energy of it, is that tobacco magnifies what you're focusing on. So it's a magical herb. So they would go into these ceremonies and they'd focus on, a tribal piece or whatever it was, shamanic stuff. And then this would emphasize that or lock it into physical reality. So what do they do? What do they call them? They call them coffin nails. So you're so addicted to it, and they put stuff in it to make it extra addictive and convince you you're killing yourself by smoking it, and it magnifies that. Right. And so with my recent experience with electromagnetic exposure and recovering from it, I think it killed parasites too, but which is, talking about quinine and HCQ, those are antiparasitic. So it's like, maybe electromagnetic energy kills parasites. And that's why they want to tell us it's so bad for you, and you don't want to put it anywhere near your brain. It might accidentally kill the parasites in your head, I don't know. I can tell you that after going through my experience, I was really sick for months, but now the electromagnetic stuff around me doesn't bother me at all. And I was hypersensitive to it after I got dosed. But now it's like, oh, I'm not feeling sick when I'm near my refrigerator anymore. So
interesting.
Maybe, so let's just look at, how fear of the vaccine has gone so far out in the supposedly awake community, right? People are terrified of this vaccine.
And all the bad posts that are coming out on social media of people that nobody seems to quite know. Nobody actually knows these people that have died. Not that I've found so far. You just share, and then you don't quite know who that person was anymore. So,
right.
Yeah. Did they die? Do they have the wobbles? We need some more people that you can point to and say, yes, this is my Auntie Mary, and this did actually happen to her. But most other people just get a little bit sick, and then they're like, yeah, okay, well, I'm fine now.
Exactly. I think that's the truth. My sister got so excited that she was going to be able to travel now because she got her second vaccine. I was like, okay. And she got a little sick afterwards. Of course, her doctor told her it had nothing to do with the vaccine. Just like a little flu symptoms that happen to include,
timely.
Your sores in your mouth. And
oh, gosh.
I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad it wasn't the vaccine. Oh, good. You're feeling better, because I'm not gonna. But what if it isn't bad? And she's in her 60s, so
still alive.
Yeah.
It's tricky. And of course the mixing of things, when you have a body that's not very well in the first place, you inject anything into it that's not
always going to be. Yeah, something. Yeah. Think about allergies. For me, pollen is
that's the great mystery, though, isn't it?
Yeah. My next door neighbor and her husband sneeze all year, and the kids want a cat, but they can't have any pets. It's just
another odd thing. And yet there are so many layers of toxins. We've talked about that before as well, that if we clean up one piece at a time, you may find a lot of those allergies will disappear anyway.
Yeah. It's not the law of attraction. There's some problems with that. But there is a creative technique, manifestation technique, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, of just living it, feeling it, what it is you desire. You don't need to know what color the new car is. You don't need the details, but how does it feel? How will it feel when we're in the new earth? And start being there. Just, it's coming. I know it's coming. I don't even want to fuss about it anymore. I'm not going to be addicted to that little thing. Am I getting the jab or am I getting the treat? The shock. And just realize, of course, I'm getting what I want for Christmas. I just have to wait for the day. So we have everybody here and have a big dinner, and enjoy your life where you are now. There's a lot of people who are saying, I can't wait till we get med beds and then I can feel better. Can you see the limitation in that?
Well, also that my son is has an advanced diploma in gaming animation. He says all those photographs are fake. All of them. They're all animated.
Which photographs are you referring to?
All the medbed photographs.
Oh, interesting.
All of them. So I'm kind of sitting here going, well, I could never connect to them. I could never pick up on them. And so actually, even just this morning, I was sitting there thinking, well, they might exist. There was a guy in the military that said anything you can imagine, we've already done. So yes, they might exist, but I don't. It's a kind of a large thing to try and hide if you're trying to put them all out around the world. I don't see it.
I think bottom line is, if you're living in a new Earth 5D reality, you don't need them.
Exactly.
Because you're aware that you heal yourself.
Or so you can use sound and light and sunshine and moon.
But so is the whole, there's a new technology that's going to be released, the med beds that'll heal us sometime in the future. So you don't do it now. Yeah. And it takes you one step away from our abilities. And we know, pumping people full of fear, they also want to make us not realize how powerful we are, suppress these amazing abilities.
Yeah. So that's another thing of putting out this idea that something will come along and save us and fix everything, you know. When you cut that off and go, maybe, maybe not, then come back to yourself again and take on the responsibility of it. And that's where you get your power, for sure. Yeah.
What is it they say? Living in the moment? Sounds like a good idea.
Be in the present. That's it.
All right.
See you then next week.
Bye.
Bye.